probably want to pick most of their charts from. But given the fact that they're going up against Chile, a team that also has some very, very well-oriented like accuracy sharpshooters, even at this sort of late mid-game-esque round, they probably don't want to get into a bit of a accuracy war with the Chileans, and they're going to want to opt to go for this more tech-oriented style.
You're already getting a little bit undermined here, going immediately for the third most.
Other one.
There are 3 maps in this pool that are super. I mean, half of the rice pool is open, I misspoke. 6 maps of the rice pool are open. Half of those 6 maps are very accuracy oriented, and then you got the other 3 maps that are more technical. And interestingly enough, you mentioned that, I agree with you here, where the United States definitely kind of aims towards that technical range, wants to keep away from accuracy because their physical capability is just so good. But they did ban out Rice 1, which, in previous rounds has been a very high focus for teams that have that really, really high cap with physicality. But, these are 2 very high-seeded teams. They both made it to winners semifinals for a reason. And a map like Rice 1, where the main thing is just that physicality, especially when you got a player like Yuchi on the other side, who's going to get, 50 300s on it, no matter how fast it is, you kind of got to weigh your advantages that you have.
Yeah, it definitely becomes a battle of if whoever misses first basically loses that point, and I guess it was just maybe a bridge too far. Stick to something a little bit more conventional. Speed is a little bit of a do or die type of thing, especially at this BPM. The reading requirement also becomes a bit of a sore spot, so opting to stick with just jump stream instead, maybe opting that to be the lesser of 2 evils. Of course, the core jack pick is also a thing. Well, it'll be interesting to see if the United States goes for that immediately after, or if they do go into that 4, 5, 6 technical range on the rice pool. And something else to point out, we've been highlighting the fact that the United States wanting to pick the rice, Chile wanting to pick the LNs this go around against each other. Whoever picks up that first breakpoint on their opponent's preferred skill set is probably going to blow this match wide open, because once you can step onto your opponent's territory, and now we're loading into this first map, it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic evolves as well.
Yeah, that said, I think these 2 teams are very well matched against each other. You have... Oh, sorry. That was just client. That's client. Yeah. We're good. I'm so used to that being real, but all right, everyone's starting off pretty well. But what I was going to say is that, I think these 2 teams are very well matched on pretty much everything. You have your favorite, the team's comfort areas, US with the rice, and at the moment, the accuracy side of things. Chile likely going to be sticking with the long note side of things, but I absolutely could see a world where these 2 teams just have a moment in this match where they're trading breakpoints. And we're already seeing a very close matchup here. Mucci being Mucci, doing Mucci things, 99.99. But Neptune, a good counter to that. Not quite at the same accuracy, but definitely doing the job that's needed. And the other 2 players from the United States definitely holding their own against Benji and Zan here. Holding the accuracy lead for the United States as it slightly grows a third into this map. But 2,000 points is more than enough. Not enough to hold on. If a miss happens, and Hello Sun, as soon as I say that, gets commentator cursed. And that might be enough to give it over to Chile. This is a very dense map, though, and 400 combo should be coming pretty quickly. United States with an accuracy lead could start to eat into this, but Chile holding on, looking for that very early breakpoint here.
That being said, with Hello Sun finding that first break, it does give Chile the advantage for right now, but now that they're back up with that 400 combo cap, they still managed to hold on to the accuracy. A pretty clean drop in the grand scheme of things, still staying ahead of the likes of Zan and Benji. So gonna start being able to make some inroads here, so long as Nep and Reshiram can hold on to their respective accuracies, basically keeping their counterparts at bay and really just holding Mucci in check as well. This is a very fragile lead that Chile holds on to, but a lead nonetheless. And on a rice pick like this, it is basically going to help set the tone for the rest of this match if they can hang on. But with an 1/8 of the chart left to go, the United States is trying everything in their power to shrink this lead getting to within a couple hundred points.
And that's a miss from Zan! Finds a miss, trades it from Hello Sun right at the end, and that's going to be enough to give a 4,000 point lead. I thought it was going to be enough just from accuracy alone. It was edging towards that, just getting to the point where it was almost United States just without the miss, but oh my goodness, that miss definitely going to give United States the favor. And with a miss 2.98, what are these, 18?
This is
no.
This is meant to be hard, right, Tove?
No.
Like this shouldn't be possible. I feel we have this conversation.
I can't keep commentating matches with this guy here.
we go through this every year, where we put an over under on how many 300s you will get on some of these charts.
18 was nothing close to what I would have guessed. Absolutely not.
You said about 50.
I said that on one of. I said that on Rice. I said that on Rice 1, the speed map. To be fair, 50 on a Rice 1 does translate pretty close to like 25, 30 on a map like Rice 2. But still, what is this?
No,
this isn't okay.
It's not. But regardless, the United States manages to take the point away from Chile. It was looking a bit dire straits there for a little bit. They were starting to get it back on their side even before Zan found that miss, but that was just one. Again, these two teams are going to be playing with fire on those rice picks the entire match. One miss.
I think it's going to be on everything. Like, I mentioned already in this match that comfort exists, and it's clear that Chile is more comfortable with the long notes against a team like the United States, and the United States is more comfortable with the rice. But first pick from the United States going almost in the wrong direction. It was going to, I think even if Zan held on to the combo, it was going to be like maybe 100, 200 points of difference one way or the other. I could not tell you who was going to win that without that. But, you know, we're in a position where singular misses are going to matter a lot. And on a map like this, where both these teams have shown such incredible consistency with maps like this. I mean, this is more difficult, so it's going to open up the opportunity for mistakes. But, you know, you have these situations, and one miss from Chile, you know, will potentially end it. But the United States needs to hold on, or they could easily just let this match slip away.
For sure. But with that being said, some substitutions while the deliberations were going on. LN1 going to be the next map here. Bambi FNF and My Angel Kokomi coming in for Chile. Peach Marrow stepping in for the United States to round out these rosters. Can Chile maintain parity here, or will the United States pick up that first break point and blow this match open?
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting point of the match here. It is a little bit longer, on the longer side, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, at least for Mania maps. We haven't seen very many above 3 minutes. We have a couple in this pool outside of just the stamina pick, which you kind of expect most of the time. But, you know, we're used to this map being a little bit on the longer side. 2 minutes and 30 seconds gives a lot of opportunity for high combos. So large score leads are going to be very important to keep. But accuracy is generally pretty good. The only player holding on very well right now, Nepogen and Hello Sun, both having that 99.8. But My Angel Kokomi is going to have the first break here and find another break. But Peach Marrow does trade one of those back, so it's not going to be too damaging there. Both of the players on those two teams dropping as the lowest accuracies. And everyone else in the lobby starting to drop, kind of being held up right now, the lead by Hello Sun and Epigen with just exceptional accuracies right now. Bambi FNF and Ryuji not too far behind.
Yeah, United States building up about a 0.2% lead in terms of the accuracy and being buoyed by the extra miss in the back pocket going into the back half of the chart. All things looking pretty good for them, but still with half the map left to go, as you mentioned, a lot of combo to be had left in this chart. Things can still turn at the last second, similar to what we saw in the prior maps. So as we continue on here, third of the map still left to go. Bambi and Yuji, as I say that, Peach Marrow finds the drop, but that's your lowest accuracy on side of the United States and the only full combo that was gone. So not too much damage, but it does have the score now. 3,000 points still in favor of the United States, with Chile starting to make their advance here.
Yeah, that miss definitely just equalizes combo, basically. It's all an accuracy game now. My Angel Kokomi and Peach Marrow both with 2 drops now, and Peach Marrow potentially being a little bit more impactful, being further spread apart, And this lead is still shrinking. Peach Mirror being above the 400 does not matter if the accuracies are starting to improve from the Chilean players. And this is staying right around that 2,000 mark. Can't afford any more mistakes, and Chile might be able to start bringing this back. It looks like it's still shrinking, but we only have a few patterns, and Bambi FNF actually finds a miss and makes a second full combo. Gone. Lead not too large. Oh my goodness, Peach Marrow, don't do that.
I think the buffer was just enough there at the end. It wouldn't have mattered, but still a little bit of a heart-in-mouth moment. You don't want to be the one finding that last miss, but the United States manages to hang on by virtue of that extra miss, giving them a bit more security to secure the first break point in this match to make it 2-0 now.
Yeah, keep it. Like you said, might be the point that starts to break this match open, but that's 2 matches in a row that were decided by 6,000 points, and maybe 1 or 2 misses on the Chilean side. A little bit more consistency. We're seeing the United States have a little bit, less combo consistency in general than they usually do. And the protect comes out immediately. Rice 5 coming out from the United States, looking to establish that lead, bring it to 3-0, and confirm the break point. And I mean, they protected it for a reason. This is exactly the kind of picks that I would think we were expecting from the United States, pretty much out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. This was probably going to be their strategy. I feel like Rice 2 might have been a bit of an exploratory pick, just to kind of get the nerves out a bit, play something a little standard, get the hands warm, really just grow into the match as they continue on. And we're going to see a bit more of the Rice-oriented rosters come through. Beta Carotene this time around for the United States, and Zan checking back in for the Chileans here on what the United States hope to be a successful capitalization on that earlier breakpoint. No better time to do it than on that protect.
Yeah, definitely. And this map may be the most physically demanding in the pool in general. Those bursts are just so fast. I mean, I think during Showcase, there was a mention of Halogen's chart of this, which certainly harder, a lot harder, but this doesn't really pull punches in a similar way as that chart, where, you'll see, small bursts getting up to insane speeds, like 450, and I don't know if this actually happens, but 500 BPM for even a couple notes at a time can be just brutal, and this song itself can lend itself to that, and towards the end, we're going to be seeing just absurd density for a tech map like this.
Yeah, really pushing the envelope here as the players get started. Pretty good accuracies across the board. I feel like that's going to be the bar, but Miuchi actually finding the first drop here for the side of Chile. And if you're going into a Rice chart, that is not the player you want finding the first drop. It is pretty early on, just before that 400 combo cap, so not going to do as much damage as if though it were in the middle of the chart, but still not an FC you want to lose this early on.
Yeah, and that already gives a big 6,000 point advantage very early on in this chart. And definitely the largest lead we've seen from the United States as far as this match has gone this early into one. And Miuchi being that high accuracy, getting that miss is going to be super, super impactful to the score for the Chilean side. So back up to well above 400 now, trying to make up some of the damage, but the accuracy from all 3 United States players holding up very well. On top of that, but it actually looks like there's a chance that the accuracy for Chile in general is slightly higher. Miuchi's general ratio is definitely going to be the highest in the lobby for the most part, trying to build up. But Bambi FNF and Zan both doing well to hold up to at least get close to matching the United States, which we didn't see from the Rice 2 pick, where they were both a little bit behind everyone.
Yeah, for sure. But for right now, that miss making all the difference for the United States. 5,000 points still the margin between the two teams. As we approach this halfway point, things start to really fly off the handles in terms of overall density. The patterns get way more physically demanding, and the fact that everybody's still in that 99.8 range, bar for Zan by 100% is borderline ridiculous. The fact that 6 players are able to maintain this level of consistency.
Yeah, and with a miss, Mewtwo climbing up to the highest in the lobby, but that lead has been staying pretty much stationary in that 5,500 to 6,000 range for the United States. It looks like the accuracies are well matched here. It's just a one miss coming early on from Mewtwo that's giving the United States a lead. It looks like Bambi might have actually found a little bit of an accuracy drop there, but no combo breaks, so no major differences. But the United States is going to have to miss if Chile wants to take a break point here, and this would be a good time for that to happen, but we're getting closer to the end of the chart, and all three of these United States players just looking so consistent right now.
Absolutely, and Zan finding the next drop for the Chileans. That might be the one that does it. There was a moment in time where the United States was being put under pressure by the Chileans to really perform at the utmost, but that miss is going to help balloon this lead to 16,000 points. The Protect secured the capitalization, successful for the United States, and they're going to make it 3-0 to start this match off.
Yeah, getting that break point, solidifying it, making sure that they got it. And I mean, we expected it. Mewtwo with a stellar ratio, just with the one miss right at the beginning. Nearly beating out Beta Carotene in score, even with the miss, which is already pretty impressive. But Chile a little bit on the back foot now. They've got 3 long note maps available to pick. They've got a hybrid pool to go into as well. They've also still have their Protect, which they could decide to go into if they feel like they need to get a little bit of momentum swing.
Yeah, we see Kokomi check back in. I think that might be the tell. And sure enough, LN2 going to be the pick for the Chileans, opting to go for their Protect to try and stabilize a little bit here. Being left reeling, LN1 didn't work out in their favor. And honestly, if this one doesn't go their way either, that really doesn't leave that many options for them to kind of get themselves back in here. They're going to really start getting risky with their picks afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, LN1... maybe the most divisive long note map there is in this pool. LN2 is their Protect, the thing that they feel the most confident on being able to face off against the United States. If this doesn't go well for them, they're going to have to start branching out into other possibilities. I think, looking at the hybrids and even maybe that SV1 pick could be a way to go, but Chile definitely on the back foot needs to get this point to prevent any more, a heavier momentum swing for the United States.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, you might want to hope for Chile to win this just for their overall confidence as well, just to really not get too down on themselves. It feels like a reflection of last year's match as well. The United States got a really strong start. Chile could never really find their footing despite some really good performances. So that might be weighing on their backs of their heads too as this match progresses. So for their sake, I hope they can put up a really strong team score on this as well.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the one that they've got to do it on. This is the most straightforward of the long up picks, the easiest one to hold onto combo, and the most comfortable for Rice players, though we do have the normal map. But Bambi FNF with a very early break just before 400 combo. Looks like it's going to be slightly before and give an opportunity for another miss from the United States to be potentially more impactful, but already giving the United States another early lead of 6,000, similar to Rice 5 that we just saw, has not worked out well so far.
Yeah, it was a pretty significant accuracy drop as well, down into that mid 99% range. And with the caliber of these players, that's basically a massive cushion for the United States to work with, because their next closest competitor is over on the United States side, Retro 99.7 for them. But Kokomi as well starting to fall in terms of their accuracy, and it's going to help grow this lead for the United States. So only one miss so far in this lobby, but it speaks to the volume. It speaks to the consistency of the United States, the fact that they're able to stretch that to about 6,000 points now.
Yeah, it looks like even 7,000. No one getting tripped up by any of the tricky bursts and jack patterns that happen despite the density nature of the chart. And it looks like accuracies are relatively even across the board outside of Bambi, who had that miss earlier on, definitely impacting the accuracy. But 7,500 points is not a safe lead here, especially for a long note map where you can definitely chain misses pretty easily. Even without column locking, chain misses isn't the easiest to avoid. And some of those ending patterns, we've got some more bursts and some very hard to coordinate patterns with the density right at the end. The United States has to survive that, and it looks like they might just take another break point on this, but a few more patterns left here.
Yeah, an eighth of the charge still left to go. Things staying relatively the same. 10,000 points now for the United States. A couple of the Chileans taking a little bit of damage to their accuracy despite rounding out their overall performances. There's just levels to this. And the United States just seems to be that one step ahead for now as they secure that 4th point in a row. Second break point in the bag. Their next pick upcoming.
Yeah, really good performance in the United States. MVP actually goes to Muka there, so putting up a good performance, potentially seeing that be a little further away because of the miss from Bambi FNF. I could have definitely seen that closer. I don't know if it would have made a difference though.
No, probably not. Just the overall ratios for the United States a little bit too clean. And I mean, even with a 50 from Nep, that came dangerously close to being a miss, and that could have potentially swung things in favor of Chile, but ultimately we'll be left wondering what if as we continue on here. So with the United States up to pick once again, basically pick of the litter now. They can go for Rice 6, Rice 7. They can opt to keep it a little bit more standard, maybe opt to go for the stamina pick. Korjak is also on the table, but maybe don't want to roll. As I was about to say, is might not want to risk it, but Rice 4 is going to be the pick here for the United States. Maybe feeling themselves a little bit in terms of their overall confidence now that they have those extra breakpoints in the back pocket, can kind of start to venture out into these riskier picks. And we see Tristan Jacob check in. So everybody coming to the forefront for the United States to lend a hand to their team performance. Zan checking back in for the Chileans. Bambi and Mucci staying put here for the moment. One of the shorter charts we have seen as well in this match.
Yeah, definitely a little bit on the shorter side and a little bit of a harken back to that Rice 2 pick. The United States, we weren't expecting to be so, gung-ho on the accuracy specific maps in this Rice pool, but, that Rice 2 was definitely a bold choice to start, and this one, another quite bold choice, but seems to be what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. I was mentioning is like having those breakpoints in the back pocket. You can kind of venture out into these riskier picks, knowing that you can kind of maybe poke the bear a little bit because you know that if with Korjak, it's one of those like it can either go really well or horribly wrong.
Yeah, this is definitely the kind of pick that we saw a miss from one of the players in Rice 2 on the United States. Unfortunately, it was traded back by Chile, so they weren't able to take the break point on that, unfortunately, for the Chilean side. But wow, Bambi already finding a break, not having the most consistent openings to these charts. It seems like we've seen a lot of breaks across the board just in the first 400 combo this match.
Yeah, it's just those little bursts. You start to hyper focus on the harder stuff, and when you transition into the next section, it's getting into them. You start to over prepare, you second guess yourself, and that's where the mistakes start to happen. But as we cross our way into the second quarter of the chart, overall, everybody's still staying put in that 99.9 range. Bambi starting to pick it up, 99.8, about a 10th behind. And again, it's contributing to this 6,000 point cushion that we've been seeing map in, map out for the United States. And it's only going to grow from here as Bambi finds a second miss. And now it's going to start doing some significant damage as we go into the back half of the chart.
Yeah, luckily for the Chilean side, we do have a little bit of a very tricky section here coming up. The third quarter of this, as soon as it starts building up again, does have some wildly difficult bursts in the middle of some of these jack patterns. And I could absolutely see mistakes coming out, just changing the motion of this, but no one's so far having issues in Bambi, just not having the consistency right now. But Tristan does trade one back, does give a little bit of leeway. Gotta start coming back, but that's two full combos, and that is a better trade for the United States as they hold on to a 16,000 point lead outside of those really difficult burst patterns.
Yeah, making it through relatively unscathed. The miscounts 3-1 in favor of the United States, and the disconnect from Bambi maybe could explain some of those misses as well. Maybe lag spikes, something, but overall, I don't think it would have made it too much of a difference. The United States was firmly in control during that pick, and they secure that 5th point now, moving into Chile's next pick.
Yeah, Chile's got to find something to do. 5-0. Needs to get some kind of way in. And they've lost both of their first picks, both of their lineup picks, which I'm assuming they felt very confident in, or at least, the most comfortable with in the pool against a team like the United States, but neither of them worked out. And you got to think maybe, moving into that hybrid zone or even the SVs if you're feeling bold enough. And if the United States pulls off another breakpoint, this could be Chile's last pick in this match if it doesn't go well for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, looking at this map pool, what would be their next best option? They're protecting and workout. LN1, again, as you mentioned, a little bit divisive, but still something that probably would have been in their wheelhouse. Do they venture into the SV, or do they potentially risk a hybrid pick in this circumstance?
I think here I'm seeing two picks specifically that would be, in my. Actually, no, I have three picks potentially for Chile.
Okay.
I'm thinking if they want to stick with LNs, I think LN4 is the way to go. I don't trust LN3. It's a little too easy to get good accuracy on that comparatively to LN4 with the staggered releases. I could see Hybrid 2 coming out just with how tricky that is in general. And the other one, Rice 6 could come out. That has the most similar structure to Rice 1, which was the United States' ban. And it's long, which means that mistakes happening could be more predictable from the United States side.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, it definitely, they do definitely have avenues. I don't want to say like all doors are closed here, because they are a very talented team. It's just with being 5 points down at this point, none of the picks that they would want to go into working out for them. It's very easy to kind of get in your own head, and not Hybrid 2, but Hybrid 1 in this instance, to try and shake things up a little bit. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I mentioned, I thought Hybrid was just generally the pool to go for. I said Hybrid 2 is maybe the most likely in my eyes. But Hybrid 1 makes perfect sense. Get out of the long note zone. Make it a little bit more risky for the United States. They've been having a little bit of trouble on a few of those Rice picks in Chile. If they're able to hold the consistency, I could definitely see some mistakes coming from the United States. And especially on a hybrid pick where, things are a little bit less predictable. You don't have your pure Rice players coming in. You don't have your pure long note players. You got to transition between styles. It's a lot of difficulty that you got to just deal with. And on the tournament stage, that can be really rough to handle. And Chile, at this point, has been out-act. They've been out-comboed. They've been out just consistency in general, and these hybrid maps are really where you got to start attacking if you're feeling that way.
Absolutely. And the other thing to keep in mind as well, the length of the chart needs to be taken into consideration as well. I mean, under 2 minutes, this is a very punishing map for those misses. And if they can just put a clean run together, if they can three-way FC and just see if the United States can find a miss somewhere, because they have come, and Hello Sun leaves right at the start of the chart. I feel like we're going to get a bit of a mulligan here.
I think we need that abort.
Yeah, before the map starts, before anybody gets going, because that adrenaline dump is so real. Especially when things
accidentally hit the double escape.
Something, but regardless, thankfully, before anything got started.
Yeah, hey, I get it. My keyboard's weird too. It's my escape key's a little too close to where I play the game, so I find on that left side of the keyboard, you're just smashing the keys a little bit. I could definitely see that. So luckily, nothing happened. No one really. Oh my goodness! Don't do this again.
What?
Now it's Nepogen.
That is weird. That's all I'll say on that.
Something's happening. I don't know. Did Nepogen double escape key now? What's going on here?
I don't know. I'm glad it wasn't the same player, because they're saying they didn't press escape. I don't know if they're just getting kicked. Regardless, it's before the map's starting, which is
great. It's like the transition.
If
it's when it's starting, like it's moving you from the lobby to the map.
Yeah,
and both of the players left, or I guess quote unquote left the lobby when that happened.
Right. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, because a third time I feel is weird. But regardless,
all right, third time's a charm. That's how we gotta go for it.
Everything comes in threes. So everybody.
All right. Everyone in the United States,
Kokomi.
All right, we made it. We did it. Okay, we're good.
All's well that ends well. We can get this 6th map underway. Chile up against the ropes, potentially their last pick if things don't play out in their favor. Looking to try and avoid the sweep here with a strong start to this first hybrid map of this match.
Yeah, a little bit of an early accuracy drop from Reshiram, though a few Mindle, Kokomi, and Bambi FNF both also dropping a little bit of accuracy in that opening burst. Hello, Sudden Epigen and Muchi holding on to that 99.9. Everyone else trying to build up, and this is an even accuracy game as we see another sort of accuracy drop from Reshiram, but matched by Kokomi there. And this is just going back and forth at this point.
Yeah, now we're starting to see the cross-map battles. Nepigen versus Muchi, and Nepigen finds the first drop for the United States, going to give Chile the advantage this time around to the tune of that similar 6,000 points that we've been seeing going the way of the United States. Now the shoes on the other foot with already half the map gone. This is the best Chile has looked going this far into a map.
Yeah, and you mentioned those singular misses on a map as short as this are huge for score. The United States accuracy definitely a little bit better than Chile, but that miss doing huge work, giving a lot of score there. Kokomi a little bit behind in the accuracy, but as long as they hold on to the combo, this is looking good for Chile. We're in the last third of this map, and they just got to hold on for a little bit left. They don't have too many patterns to get through left, and that is one of the benefits of these short maps. Huge disadvantages for misses, and not as much to deal with as far as comboing goes. Last few patterns, but this lead is shrinking super fast because of the accuracy lead that the United States has, and it's down to just about 1,000 going into the last patterns, and it's swapping over, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, it's every 100th. Kokomi needs to hang on. They have the lowest accuracy for Chile. Can they start to spring it up before these last couple of notes start to rain through? They find the miss instead! And the United States at the 11th hour are going to make it a match point situation. Stealing it there at the end. Oh, what a way to lose a point. That was looking so good for Chile till the end.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. It wasn't even a miss. They just got caught up. I mean, it's 260 BPM jump stream into a held down long note, and I think that's just where it happened. They found a little bit of a release error, and unfortunately that is going to make a match point for the United States on their own pick.
Oh, that is a heartbreaker and a half. They had that 6,000 point lead. They were banking on being able to close it out on just combo alone, but it started slipping in terms of the accuracy, and it was just a bit too much. If that song were just 10 seconds shorter,
oh my goodness,
the United States goes for LN4.
Oh my goodness. Actually, I don't hate this pick so far. I don't hate this.
With how they've been performing on the LNs, I feel like they've kind of earned the right to go into them now, but still, it's you don't want to say that the train's left the station. The thought wasn't
there. things are weird right now. The first Osu original of the pool out of the 3 in the map pool that was selected for this match here, but I mentioned that I thought this was going to be one of the ones that would be a little bit stronger for Chile if they wanted to pick into it. But the United States being, so far dominant just in the match in general, but winning both of the long note picks so far. Chile, moving out of the long note, feeling like they needed to get something new for it. And maybe giving a little bit of confidence for the United States to select this. This is on the longer side, so consistency is going to matter a lot more, which it seems like the United States has had a little bit stronger consistency overall. But still, 3.5 minutes is a lot of opportunity for error.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, Chile opting to use their timeout. So the map pick, 2 minutes, and then I believe the additional 2 minutes for the timeout are going to be applied. Maybe just an opportunity to kind of collect the nerves a little bit. It is now a match point situation. There is no more room for error. The winner's bracket run is on the line now. Thankfully, not an elimination match, so a little bit less pressure, but you want to still be able to put on the strong showing. Just take a second to breathe and really just take stock of the situation. That last point is always the hardest to secure.
Absolutely, and I mean, at this point, you said it, Chile in a situation where they cannot lose any more points. It is reverse sweep or bust for their winners bracket life. Good to know that a team performing as well as they are in this match will still have a chance to make it through, even if they're not able to perform the reverse sweep. But they've got a long road ahead of them if they want to stay in the winners bracket here and guarantee that podium spot.
Absolutely. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, if there was a team that they would get roadblocked by, no better team than the #1 seed in this context. They have gone against other opponents, really shown off what they are made of. But it again, I think I mentioned this somewhere during the match, is just there's levels to the performances. And the United States has really just built this roster that is formidable in terms of the well-roundedness of their roster. It is something to behold, and I feel like Chile has finally found a group of players that can propel them to that level, but there's still just a couple of things that once they iron it out, I feel like this could be rematch potential in, say, like grand finals.
Oh, absolutely. I could absolutely see that happening. It depends like how everything goes for the rest of the tournament, but Chile has the squad available to them if they don't have, you know, the next 7 points in a row. It's looking a little dire, but they're in a position where I don't think they're in any trouble going into like that finals week one way, whether they manage to, you know, make that comeback or not.
Absolutely. It's one of those, like, it's just so nice to see, because of the fact that we mentioned at the top, it's like these are storied 4 key communities going at it, and they have toiled for years to try and make it to this level, and now the fact that this is their furthest winners bracket run, if I do recall correctly.
That's actually not true.
Or have they made it farther?
My
history doesn't go that far.
They've made it to semifinals winner side before.
Okay.
They made it to semifinals winner side in 2017, where they lost to the United States again.
Oh.
So this is more storied than we even said in the intro, where last year they met up in the winners bracket, but they have a history against the United States.
Duly noted. But regardless, a very hard-fought struggle. I feel like the scoreline doesn't pay justice if it does end here. But I mean, Chile is going to do everything in their power to make sure it doesn't end here. United States up on LN4. Hello Sun, Peach Marrow, and Nepogen, as we wait for the client to kind of settle down, going up against Mewtwo, Bambi, FNF, and My Angel Kokomi to try and close things out here.
Oh.
Yeah, gonna get the bit of
a little bit behind. Everyone good, but just a little bit behind. Don't want to see that happening.
Gonna wait for the client to catch up here. A little bit. I didn't know that this was an SV chart.
That's certainly what the client wants to have you think.
Yeah, exactly. But as we wait the players are in, to my knowledge, so they are playing. And as I say that, Kokomi drops out, so might be what we were seeing on the previous map, just some client issues where they just somehow get booted out. So we will get the abort here, I believe, or panic.
I think we're getting the abort.
Something will happen here, but regardless, we can kind of take stock of the situation, the circumstances of which Chile find themselves in, where they have to play through this. I'm hoping that it's an offline score from Kokomi here at this point, as we make our way into the second third of the chart. And I mean, right now, the accuracies in comparison between the 5 players we have on screen, Bambi and Peach Marrow going at it against each other, and we do get the abort.
Yeah, that was weird. Manager Kokomi calling for the abort early on in the map, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like the map didn't start on their screen, so
players were a little bit ahead, but yeah, that was worth an abort in my eyes. I think I don't think that's worth thinking about too much.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll get into the 7th map before too long, so maybe an opportunity again, just the mental reset, the fact that Chile took the time to take that timeout to kind of get the nerves settled, and now they need to reorient themselves again. It's just, it's a lot to take in, and especially on a match point situation like this, I can imagine, I mean, you yourself being somebody that's experienced this tournament pressure before, what's it like to be in that situation where you're playing and all of a sudden things just drop out from under you?
Oh, I mean, I have personal experience with this. I remember literally my first match ever that I played. I was in group stage against Argentina, we were in a top seed position versus Argentina, who was the middle or the high seed in that tournament. So we were like really nervous about that, and we took a break point, picked a map, and like 30 seconds in, my game alt-tabbed, and I was like, uh-oh. I got real freaked out. I mean, that just spikes your nerves so much, and even if you're in a position where you're confident in your ability, it's like the next couple maps come around, and that alt-tab situation happens. Even if it did cost our team a point that year. In this case, luckily, we don't have to give up a point for Chile there. But even like not giving up a point there with that alt tab is gonna just spike your adrenaline super hard. And when you're trying to keep accuracy super straightforward, which these teams are in the winners bracket, it's going to affect you. It's going to be extremely difficult to come back from that.
Oh, for sure. So, fingers crossed. No more shenanigans from here on out. MP start command comes out. Everybody loads in. Thank goodness. Get into the 7th map. I mean, my heart can't take this anymore. I can only imagine what the players are feeling right now with everything that has happened.
All right, we made it. We got all 6 players in. No issues here. As we get the intro, staggered releases already coming through. And just in that intro, it looks like Chile actually has a small lead.
Yeah, very strong start overall. Everybody hovering in and around that 99.7, 99.8 range. Some stragglers here for both sides in terms of the accuracy overall, and it's going to turn into a bit of a tug of war. A couple of 100 points going between both teams. The United States starting to eke out a bit of an advantage, trying to stretch it to 4 digits, but I mean, it's still very early goings in this chart. One of the longest ones we had so far in this match, and as we continue transitioning on into this next section, a couple of really loud 200s from Bambi going to help stretch this lead, but overall still within catching distance. Nobody has made a major mistake yet so far.
That said, Peach Mario did find a little bit of an accuracy drop now, actually the lowest in the lobby, just around the same as My Angel Kokomi, but the overall accuracy from the United States definitely holding out a quarter into this map here, but only 1,300 points. This map is a little bit longer, has a lot more combos, so 1,400 is bigger on this than it would be on pretty much anything else in the pool, but still within range for Chile to make it up. Still having 6 full combos, singular misses would definitely be enough to give Chile an opportunity to take this win.
Absolutely, and now we start to establish a bit of a pecking order here. Neptune and Miyuchi going at it against each other. Neptune winning that battle, and right now the tandem of Hello Sun and Peach Meryl holding off Bambi FNF and My Angel Kokomi respectively, as the lead grows to about 2,000 points now in favor of the United States going on into the back half of the chart. Still anybody's game. This is the closest margin we've seen.
Oh my goodness!
Finds the first drop, and the lead immediately swings on over to the Chilean side. 2,500 points now, and a miss in the back pocket to work with.
Yeah, they definitely have room now. All 3 players in Chile looking super strong, holding that combo. The United States accuracy looking a little bit stronger than Chile, but it's close enough now that as long as Chile holds consistent, we've got a third of this map left. As long as they hold consistent, this could be a break point on a risky pick from the United States, looking to close this out. And that could be a big momentum shifter. We still have a lot left in this map, though. A lot of opportunity for the United States to build that back up. Peach Marrow well above the 400 combo now, but the lowest accuracy in the lobby at this point, helping Chile hold on to just about a 3,000 point lead. But Chile's going to have to stay consistent here in this ending.
Yeah, last quarter map left to go, and Halosa finds a very rough transition into this section, losing their combo as well. Kokomi trades it back this time around, but the lead still stays in favor of Chile. But Miyuchi falls as well. 2,000 points
And it's one full combo to one full combo. It's Bambi versus Neptune, and that Muchi miss was huge. Highest combo, or highest accuracy for the Chilean side. And Koga gets another break! And that's going to give the leader straight over to the United States as we hit the final few patterns of this map, and that might be just it! Have a few patterns left. Neptune and Bambi trying their best to hold on to the full combo, and I don't know if it's going to be enough, as just a couple misses were the difference between a potential breakpoint bringing this back and the United States completing. No! Hold on! I can't finish that sentence. Double S is not okay on this.
Oh my goodness. No. That is ridiculous. That is a MVP level performance from Neptune here. A V1SS to close things out on LN4.
V1SS with like a 15-to-1 ratio. No, that that's not okay to do on this map. I'm so sorry.
There's way too many staggers. There's way too much going on in that chart to be able to hold on to a V1SS. But nonetheless, Toph, I think we find ourselves in a very particular situation where we set the bar for the players and they rise to the occasion each and every time. And the United States marches onwards to the winners finals at the expense of the Chileans, who are not done just yet. Will just be down in that losers bracket, and oh boy, do I feel for their next opponent, because they are going to want to run it back here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Chile performs in the losers bracket here. They put up an incredible fight. I mean, we're looking at a match where more than half of them were within 6,000 points. More than half of the points were within 6,000. Against the #1 seeded United States, you can't. I wouldn't be unhappy with the performance from Chile there. They put up a heck of a performance and really showed out today.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Maybe individual performances. It's a game of what ifs. What if we hadn't missed? What if the song was 10 seconds shorter? But nevertheless, they can pick themselves up. They will face off against the winner of Japan versus China next weekend. And that'll be a very interesting matchup, regardless of who wins that one. It's shaping up to be a very exciting run to the finals. But Toph, this block of matches is done, but we're not done yet. There's something bubbling up inside me where the support I have for these teams is reaching an all-time high, and I just don't know how to go about it. Can you enlighten me here?
I mean, I have the perfect cure to your ailment. If you feel that your support for these teams is getting too much to hold on your inside, we've got banners in the Osu store that you can buy for every team that you want to. If you want to support the tournament and the players, you can go over to the Osu store and buy a banner for your favorite team for $2.50 USD. And not only that, you can support your favorite team. You can support all of your favorite teams, buy multiple banners. You could buy 32 if you wanted. We've got 32 teams that made it to bracket stage. Even if they're already eliminated, you can buy their banners. And as a special bonus, if you buy the banner for the team that ends up winning the Osu Mania 4 Key World Cup, you will be able to keep that banner for an extra long time till the next World Cup comes around. So a little bit of an extra bonus there. But like I said, that's the cure to your support for this team building up within you. Do you have anything else to say?
There is nothing else left to add. I'm gonna go ahead and run on over to the O store, pick myself up a couple of banners, support some of the teams, and until then, we've got about a 10-hour break between now and our next match between South Korea and Thailand. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your days. And until then, we'll catch you guys later.